right, let's talk about now some of the things that can go wrong. The things that when you have experience, you can look at them in hindsight and think, oh, well, I won't do that again. But for the people that don't yet have hindsight, let's try and shed a bit of light on that.
No, there's so many things that can go wrong, but I think that one of the first and most important things is that brands need to be willing to let creators do their thing. And here's what I mean by that. Brands have, generally speaking, done a fantastic job over time of developing their brand voice. We know the images that resonate with consumers. We know what words work. We know the pentameter with which we say the words that is going to resonate with our customers. We know the imagery. We know the emotions we want to elicit. And that's great when a brand's pushing out content. Now, when a creator is talking with their audience, they need to talk in a way that's going to resonate with their audience and not try to be a second-rate version of brand voice and using the buzzwords that a brand wants or the images that a brand wants or try to speak in the pentameter of a brand. That stuff has to like be left on the cutting room floor, and a brand has to recognize there's a difference between brand voice and brand advocacy. And when that's done well, then good things can happen. So, it sounds so simple, and it is, but it's not easy because as marketers, we've spent so many hours, trying to develop that brand voice. That to just allow that to go by the wayside is really hard. So I think that's the first and probably the most important part, which is making sure you have the right mindset for how to run an influencer campaign.
Give me one more.
Another thing that can go wrong is trying to develop more of a script for a creator, or trying to get too involved in the way I guess this is part of the same, but maybe bring it to light a little bit more. A lot of times brands will be like, we just don't like the lighting in that, or the creator just doesn't seem very excited. We'll hear that sort of thing a lot. I think, well, they're a scientist, and that's how they talk to their audience. Like if they try to be too excitable, it's actually going to undermine everything you're trying to do. And so we see this like push and pull where we're trying to get the best out of creators, and a lot of times the way we do that is to push back on the brand. The last thing, I'll give you maybe a bonus one, Trent, which is you don't actually want to negotiate the lowest price possible when you're a brand working with a creator. And the reason for that is, as humans, we communicate, don't quote me on this, somewhere in the neighborhood of like through 90 different ways, and only like 3 of them are verbal. So whatever the exact numbers are, that's directionally the approach. And if a creator doesn't feel valued in terms of how they're being compensated by a brand, they're not actually going to get, the brand's not going to get the best version of that creator. And that's just the way human nature works. And this is where influencer marketing is still very personal. We talked about earlier, there's definitely more people involved, but it's still pretty close, right? Like the creators are knowing how much they're getting paid, and they're going to invest a little bit more in for those brands that are paying the creators better. So you want to negotiate the best price, not necessarily the lowest price. And the best price is defined by where the creator feels valued and the brand's getting meaningful value from the partnership as well.